Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. 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 Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum. 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 Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum. Internet! What's up, Internet? What's going on? How's everybody doing? I'm getting a phone call. Oh, it's my mom. Let's see what Mom has to say. Hello, Mother. You're on the show. Thanks for calling in on the show. How you doing? Oh, the fish are good. The fish are good. You say something appropriate? You could say something inappropriate if you want. The internet might get mad at you, Mom. I'll have to call you back, Mother dear, doing the show. I'll give you a call. All right. Goodbye. Love you. Okay, bye-bye. That, everybody, was my mom threatening to say something inappropriate. She was calling in from the road. I could hear the car. I could hear her driving in the background, you know. So, welcome to the Wednesday show. How is everybody doing? I have been gone for a little while. There was no Monday show. So, good to see all you lovely faces here into the chat. Let me get the chat lined up over here. XSplit was updating once again, so we started 1 minute late. Oh my God, you guys, we started 1 minute late. Oh, could you handle it? Could you handle the wait? Could you handle it? Probably not. What is this stupid thing doing? All right, there we go. Let's say what's up to a couple people in the chat here before we get rocking and rolling. I forget who was first, and the chat has been chatterific. And if you were here for the early chat, you will know. Rant warning coming out today. Who was first? I can't remember who was first. Maybe somebody will remind me who was first to the chat. I thought I had it saved. I thought that I had done a screen capture, but I don't. There's not one down here. My bad. You know, I'm a little rusty because, you know, some of you that follow along on the face pages or whatever know that we went off to the woods this weekend. And we were hanging in the woods. Not really in the woods, honestly. I don't know where. Honestly, I didn't know where we were going until we got there. It was way more Eastern Washington than I thought where we were going. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I've been there before, but I didn't really realize that's where we were going. We went to Eastern Washington, which is more high plains desert with lakes and rivers and stuff running through it, which is fantastic. I love it over there. If you guys know if you know a little bit of my backstory, I used to spend most of my summers over in Eastern Washington as a kid growing up. My family had property over there, and boy, howdy, did I learn a lot over there in the glorious Eastern Washington. I know that is probably a little bit confusing to a lot of people out there. They're like, hey, man, I'm in New Zealand. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, let me explain for you. Let me get the landmass comparison. Washington State land area versus England. This is what I wanted to know. I wanted to look this up, and I forgot to do it ahead of time. 11 U.S. states that are larger than the UK. Okay, here we go. The United States is approximately 40 times the size of the United Kingdom, which itself is comprised of 4 countries. If you didn't know that, now you know. I see some Brits in the chat. I see Dougie. I see George Farmer was in the chat. He said he was enjoying some delicious ice cream. Good on you. I'm still short on my ice cream intake, and it's freaking me out. Where is, all right, what kind of stupid list is this? Okay, so the state I live in, Washington State, United States, which is one of the 50 U.S. states. If you don't know what a state is, I don't know, go look it up. There's 50 of them in the United States, plus a bunch of territories on top of it. But either way, Washington is 3/4 the size of the entire United Kingdom. So Washington is almost as big as the entire UK. Wyoming is as big as the UK. Oregon is bigger than the UK. Michigan is bigger than the UK. Colorado, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Montana. California is 2. Montana is 1.5. Texas is 3. And Alaska is 7 of the United Kingdoms. So, just to give you a little idea of how big Washington is, hopefully that's something that you could figure out in your headspace. So we drove from one side of Washington to the other side of Washington. The very northern central part is where we went. It takes about 6.5 hours from where I'm at to drive on the freeway. So I think total distance to there is 330 miles, I think, which I have no idea how many kilometers that is. Let me find out for the international folks. 330 miles, 2 kilometers. There we go. 531 kilometers away. Okay. Kilometers. Kilometers, you guys. Okay, so that's how far away we went. Now, to give you an idea, when we go that far away from where I'm at, it's pretty much a completely different environment. It's like a desert. It's hot. It's at a higher elevation, so we're probably just chilling at 2,000 feet elevation, something like that. And it's super crazy because you're surrounded by mountains and crazy trees that are struggling to endure the environment, and a lot of cool lakes and stuff. A lot of stuff was flooded. Where we were trying to go was flooded. There's water spewing all over the place, which is weird because it's a desert. It just can't handle that kind of water. But there's a giant river that runs through Washington State, which is the Columbia River. And I want to... I don't want to say how long it is because I will forget. All right, here we go. Let's look it up here. The river is 1,243 miles long, is how long that river is, that runs all around Washington State. Starts up in Canada and then comes on down all the way around and winds itself all around Washington and then spits itself out into the ocean at the southern border of Washington, in between Washington and Oregon. Now, where we're at is up by the beginning part, which has a bunch of dams on it. And you know what? If the stupid, if the algorithm thinks I'm talking about dams, I'm talking about hydroelectric dams. I'm not swearing, YouTube, okay? So don't get all freaked out. I'm talking about hydroelectric dams. There are a lot of them on the Columbia River. I don't know how many now because a bunch of them have been decommissioned. So let me see. Boom. There it is. Columbia's heavy flow and large elevation drop over a short distance of 2.16 feet per mile give it a tremendous capacity for hydroelectric generation. In comparison, the Mississippi drops only 0.65 feet per mile. So it gives you an idea. It goes this up, and it goes all the way down, and it's pretty gangster. The Columbia River's pretty cool. There are 150 hydroelectric projects on the Columbia River. 150 hydroelectric projects on there. One of them being the Grand Coulee Dam, the Chief Joseph Dam, and are also the largest in the United States. As of 2017, Grand Coulee is the 5th largest hydroelectric plant in the world. Cool. Oh, and they also make a lot of aluminum in the region because of the cheap electricity. Oh my gosh, we're just learning here. We're learning! Oh, man, I'm learning. You know what I mean? We're learning so much today. But it goes all the way down, and it ends up in the Willamette Valley, I believe, is where it ends, right? I think. Oh, where did that... Man, this is a giant Wikipedia. Let's see. Washington turns west from most of the border. Washington, Oregon. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Where did I see Willamette Valley? There it is. In the late 18th century, a private American ship became the first non-indigenous vessel to enter the river. Oh, my gosh. It was followed by a British explorer who navigated past the Oregon Coast Range into the Willamette Valley. Speaking of the Willamette Valley, I got something for you guys about the Willamette Valley that's contextual, but to some kind of certain degree. I'm not sure. Let me see. Let me open this up. Okay, hold on a minute. Willamette Valley Aquarium Society. Does anybody know about Willamette Valley Aquarium Society? If you are, Willamette Aquarium Society. Okay, so I got a question from the Willamette Valley Aquarium Society, which wants me to come there for some reason. Maybe give a talk, maybe give a presentation, maybe just shake everybody's hands and everybody realize how bad my BO is or something like that, right? I don't know. But they're interested in me coming down, which... Hey, man, let me be brutally honest here. If somebody's interested in me coming down, right, I would be interested in coming down. What is this right here? Oh, I got a crazy zit. Oh, no, that's a mosquito bite. I got a zit over here. That's a zit. That's a mosquito bite. The mosquitoes are running rampant, which is not normal for Eastern Washington. But, let me see here. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, so they were interested in me maybe coming down there. Maybe you guys know what the Willamette Valley Aquarium Society is. Maybe you have some kind of connection to them. And maybe you're excited about me coming down there. I don't know. But it's up to you guys. It's up to you, Internet, to, bring the hype, Because the hype train, with just me running the hype train, ain't working. Whatever I'm doing is only sort of kind of working. And that's mainly one of the big topics that I want to talk about today. You guys, the Interneters yourselves, right? You guys are not, all right. You guys aren't at the top of my gratitude list because it would be ridiculous of me to say that you guys were at the top of my list. Vicky Toria is at the top of my list, and if anybody doesn't like that, I'm sorry for you. Oh, and Aquarium Co-op just uploaded a video. You guys should probably go watch that. It's probably better than this. I'd recommend it. Oh my gosh, she's got a killifish in the thumbnail. I love killifishes. It's a fundalo punchax, however you say that. I'm saying it wrong, I know. I'll hear about it in the comments. I'm sure I'll get a message that says I'm an idiot. But to say that you guys don't make the top, you don't make the top of the list, but you guys are always in the top 3, right? You guys are always up there, and I want to express my gratitude. But whatever it is I'm doing, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's cutting the mustard at this point. We're going to have some real talk here today. It's going to be some rants. I warned you guys in the early chat. Whoever was here for the early chat, they got warned, and no one else got warned. But there's going to be some, excuse me. Jeez, that was disgusting. Sorry about that. There'll be some real talk today because I got to make some life decisions here, you guys. And because we're kind of at the point, and I realize this one way or another. I'm not sure. A bunch of people have already left, so we'll be fine. Let's see. What was the high water mark here? Oh, yeah, the high water mark was 143. Now we're back to 110. All right, cool. So the 30 people that don't want to hear it, they left. Cool. So I think we're pretty good because the 30 people that didn't want to hear it, it seems like they left, right? Which is good. But got to have some real talk here because whatever it is that I'm doing is just not coming through good enough. And I feel like I've either got to sit down and like figure out like whatever I'm doing is wrong, which is definitely a possibility, right? Like I don't think that I'm not a part of whatever's going on, right? I feel like there either has to be an evaluation on like what I'm doing or something else, right? Because, you know, I feel like I'm at a point right now, and full disclosure, I've mentioned this before, so I don't think it's going to stress anybody out too much, but I am 38 years old. Got in a hit and run in my truck a little while ago, right? And now my truck is totaled, and it is incredibly stressful because now I don't have a truck, which, you know, being somebody that like needs a truck in order to do work, it's incredibly stressful. And I'm kind of realizing that I'm 38 years old, right? I don't think that it should be this stressful. I realistically don't. I really don't. I've never been somebody who's like had a lot of money or anything like that, but I've always been somebody who's had an income. I'm always somebody who's like scraped together whatever I need to get by. I've always signed up for extra shifts. I've always worked weekends. I've worked overnight. You know, I've done whatever it takes to kind of get where I'm at this point. And I feel like I'm definitely at a point where I'm surrounded by people where it wouldn't be that big of a deal to like argue with the insurance and all that kind of stuff. And I'm kind of at the point now where I'm like arguing with insurance over, you know, like $300, right? And it should realistically be, I realistically feel like I should be in a position where I'm like, you know, I've got a little bit of money in my retirement. And to full disclosure for you guys, if you guys really want to know like some of my financials and stuff like that, I've got $1,000 in my retirement. And that's not good. That's the opposite of good. I feel like I gambled on an idea that if I worked on stuff, like I would just be successful. And I understand, like anybody out there that's like, oh, this guy's whining and complaining about his position. Cool, man. I get it. I get how I get that it sounds like I'm not being appreciative of my position, even though I am super appreciative of the position that I'm in. But I've really got to make some kind of evaluation of like what the hell I'm doing here, because I'm sort of at a point right now where I'm kind of backpedaling. I'm kind of going backwards. Like I basically have more bills than money I'm making and stuff like that. So, you know, realistically, like the early success with like the Patreon and stuff like that, and you know, I'm really appreciative of all the Patreon contributors and all that kind of stuff. I certainly am. There's 290 of you on there. A bunch of people have left recently, which is probably part of how I feel kind of depressed, you know, because some of the people are like what I would consider to be like really important people. So I think like the early Patreon success shows some people that they're like, oh, look, this guy's doing fantastically and all that kind of stuff. But realistically, I'm at a point right now where I'm making like $5 an hour. And I'm 38 years old. Steven brought up a good point earlier that You know, a lot of the way I'm feeling right now probably has something to do with the fact that I've got a child on the way, which is probably part of it. I just got a text from Vicky that our baby girl, she just got a checkup. Our baby girl's doing fine. She's like 3 months along, so, oh no, she's like 4 months along now. So, but yes, there is a baby girl on the way, and maybe part of my emotions has to do with that. Maybe part of what I'm thinking about. Maybe that's part of what I'm thinking about and stuff is that I do have a kid on the way, and I probably would like to solidify some kind of security for that. But also at the same time, I'm a year into trying to fully do this project, even though I'm 8 years into doing this project. I did talk to somebody recently that was like, you know, maybe you shouldn't brag about how well you're doing. When they looked at how I was doing and they were like, yeah, you could have had a doctorate by now. Which honestly was some pretty real talk coming from a good friend of mine. It was a little bit tough. It was a little bit tough to like hear that, but it is kind of true. All the time that I've spent trying to do YouTube videos, trying to get some traction with like what I'm doing, I could have had a doctorate by now, realistically. Whether or not I'd be in tremendous debt, probably, right? It's probably I would be in tremendous debt, yes, because school in the United States is outrageous and a total disaster, right? But I would probably at least have a doctorate, and then I could walk around and just tell people I'm Dr. Acula, you know, what up, dude? Dr. Acula in the house, right? But that's just kind of the thing where I'm at is that I had like a real honest conversation with somebody that was like, look, dude, you're 8 years into something and you make less than half of minimum wage, right? And I don't know if it feels like kind of a punch in the gut, but it's definitely from somebody that I definitely trust, and at least trust their opinion to the point of going like, okay, let me actually think about this. Let me actually think about what you're saying, and not just be like, you know, F you, man. Don't say bad things to me. And honestly, you know, having gone to Germany was a real eye opener for me in the fact that I'm about 1 million miles away from where I thought I would be at this point in time. You know, I felt like maybe I would have some kind of collaboration with a company or whatnot. And I honestly have a great, fantastic relationship and collaboration with Corey from the Aquarium Co-op. Great company, and he's a great guy, and I love spending time with him. And I hope that we're going to be traveling and doing more projects in the future and stuff like that. But I think maybe I got my hopes up a little bit that maybe I would we're going to go overseas, we're going to invest a lot of time, and then maybe this would be the payoff now that some company would want to bring me on or something like that. And it's just not the reality. So, you know, it's not a downplay of any of those companies or anybody else. It's not. It really isn't. It's just that I don't even have enough of a reputation that any company would want to hire me at this point in time. So when it comes down to it, you know, doing construction and day labor and electrical and stuff like that, it's probably the route that I should probably just go in. You know, and that is a real, I gotta write it down and go okay, what am I doing here? You know, kind of situation. So, I don't know. There are a ton of super chats here that I got to address, and I guess I'll just address those real quick and just go off on the little sidebars here as today goes. I know I do not have any video today, so if anybody is here for a video segment and hoping for that, no, I don't have one. So I've been putting so many video segments and stuff into the live streams that it's making it more and more difficult to make just goofy videos, right? Just the goofy YouTube videos, and instead of just making the videos that I want to make. I'm like trying to make videos for the live stream and stuff like that. So, you know, but I don't want to miss anybody's chats here. They've been flying by, and I've just been yammering on like a maniac. But Lotat is saying, I don't know much, but I feel like the aquarium companies are just slow and just finally seeing how popular YouTube is. If you want to know the critique of that, you would need to contact basically the big three YouTubers, fish YouTubers, and ask them why the companies aren't wanting to bring on talent, because those would be the people that are essentially responsible for burning all of those bridges. And I think you know who they are. And once again, they'll remain nameless because I don't want to give them any free promo. But you could figure out who they are. You know, it won't take you too long to figure that out. But you know, that's one of the biggest reasons and one of the biggest things that I've encountered is that if I do email somebody and they're like, "Oh, hey, you have a YouTube channel? Oh, we had somebody this one time from YouTube, and they basically took a check and never did anything that they said they were going to do." Right? So it's been paddling upstream against that, which is a big deal. Which is a big deal that if you're trying to occupy and work within a space, and the people that were ahead of you, right, basically just kind of screwed it for everybody, then that's pretty much the position that things that are happening right now. But let me answer some of these super chats and try to get some of the regular chat also. But the Zombie Drummer, the $4.99 super chat saying, "Gonna miss a show today. I'll catch you on the replay. I miss you guys and gals." Zombie Drummer, sorry that we're gonna miss you during the show today, but yes, we will catch you on the flip side. And as you know, he's somebody that emails me on a regular basis, so I am available. I've been terrible at emailing people back recently, though. I've just been not in it. I've just not been having a lot of time for emailing people back. A Vexing Cat with a $10 super chat. Doesn't even have a question on it. Just throwing it in the old tip jar. Well, thank you. I would encourage anybody. I appreciate all these super chats and stuff. I would definitely recommend people to go to the Patreon if it's something. If I'm somebody that you guys want to help support, go to the Patreon and do it there. It's the best way to do it. YouTube will take the money for 55 days and then pay it out after they take 40%. That's just honest. That's what they do. You know, Patreon doesn't do that. They have a 5% processing fee, and then they get paid 5%. You know, just for hosting, which, by the way, hosting a website is not free. But I would recommend anybody go to the Patreon if that's what if you guys want to chip in and kind of stuff. So yeah. LG3 Nation with a $10 super chat says, "I just got here and there's something about a list. Vicky should be number 1 and Prego. Guppy should be number 2. But seriously, I appreciate you so much and hope you figure things out." LG3 Nation, always awesome supporter. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. I have to figure, I got to find some kind of middle ground here. Like, there has to be some kind of middle ground that makes sense. Dan Squires just shared darkstararts.com, which is my art website. As you guys know, I've spent a lot of time doing paintings and stuff. And I've had a lot of people tell me I'm a great painter or whatever. I'm a terrible painter, all right? You know, and the way I look at it, I'm a terrible painter because I can't put food on the table by doing it. So is that a stupid way of looking at it? Probably. It's a little bit grimy. It's a little bit greasy, right? But it's the reality of the world we live in. If I can't trade my work for food and shelter, then there ain't much value in it. You know what I mean? So I would say that I'm a pretty terrible painter for that, by that valuation, right? Because that's the world we live in. The money is the thing. Insurance companies want the money. They keep the money. They don't want to dole out the money. And now I got to argue with them about my stupid 20-year-old truck that I just wanted them to fix it. But they don't want to fix it because the shop wants a ton of money. So then I end up with some other truck. I don't know. But then it's just like a big disaster, right? So I don't know. I mean, some people want me to be honest. I'm just being honest right now. I'm not feeling like I'm being negative. That's just kind of it's how I feel. It could be wrong. It could be wrong. I could be depressed. I could be overwhelmed. I could have some stupid stuff going on personally, right? Which I probably do. And it's a feeling. It's not necessarily reality, right? It's just how I feel. And it's not good. But there are some pragmatic decisions that I do have to make, right? There just is a reality of that. Like, the bank will take away your house if you don't pay, and you can't just steal food from the store. You can't just do that, right? So, let's see here. We've got Barbara Jackson with $2.99 super chat saying, "Hey Joel, you get my Candy Crush money." Barbara, I don't want your Candy Crush money. Although I would maybe switch from Candy Crush to something else. Was Candy Crush? I think Candy Crush was PopCap Games, right? Was that PopCap Games? Okay, if I could just hit the question mark. Bejeweled is so over Candy Crush. Here's the history of what was copied. PopCap. Candy Crush is not a Bejeweled clone. Oh, so it's not. PopCap Games co-founder John Vecchi posted a message stating that he doesn't consider King to be cloning PopCap's games and says that calling Candy Crush Saga... I was gonna say because what's his name? John? I don't think that's the guy. Hold on, let me look this up. Let's see here. Let me see. EA bought. Yeah, that's right. Let's see here. Who is the guy? I forget the guy's name. My really good buddies, one of my really good buddies was the guy that loaned the money to PopCap Games. He sold the company for $1.3 billion. I was going to say, you might not want to give them $3 because he already got billions. Let's see. Billy Fish is here. He's wondering... if this is about fish. Yes, normally. Yeah, this show's normally about fish and stuff. I'm just a little bit grimy today, and big rant. I'm having a rant day, So I'm having a rant day, and I'm kind of bitching, and I'm also letting all the I'm also letting the fans, the Oceaneers, as they're called, to just have a working knowledge of what is going on, right? A working knowledge of what's happening and like a live real time, like kind of knowing what's up, what to expect starting out. Because June 1st is coming up, and June 1st is what I consider to be the new year as far as the YouTube projects and stuff like that goes. And I know some people that think of the YouTube thing as a hobby. A year ago, I realistically kind of stepped away from my small company. I had a small remodeling and handyman company that I was like doing. I was actually doing pretty well. I was pretty happy with it, and things were going quite well. And so I took a step away from that and kind of decided to go in on doing all of the essentially kind of doing YouTube full time or whatever you want to call it. I've been doing some small projects here and there to help supplement. But I've got a kid on the way. I've got a baby daughter coming, you know, and I'm about 100 years old or 38. So I actually am of the age that I do realistically have to make some pragmatic decisions about my life or what I'm doing and how I'm going to help take care of the baby that's coming. Currently our name for her, and so people were asking me if I was going to ask people to name the baby. But the current name that we have for her is Michael Olivia. That's the current name we have. So maybe we'll have people comment on the video if they actually watched it up to the 35-minute mark of me just rambling on like a maniac. Comment down below, Michael Olivia, if you like it. If you don't like it, don't comment below about it. Right? Yes. I would say don't comment. I don't want to hear it. I've got so many negative comments recently. I don't even want to know. There's somebody commenting on a 6-year-old video, not a 6-month-old video, right? A 6-year-old video, over 6 years old, right? That I should turn the music off on the video that was playing in the background from over 6 years ago. A fish tank filter, aquarium filter review video that I did over 6 years ago. Somebody was yelling at me about how I need to turn the music down in the background. Like they thought maybe it was actually happening right now. It's a 6-year-old video, okay? That's like putting a DVD into the DVD player and then being like, Spider-Man's jumping around too much. Don't jump around so much, Spider-Man. What? What is wrong with people, right? That's weird. I don't get it. But yes, Michael Olivia is the name that we're coming with so far. It's not set in stone. It's not on the birth certificate or anything like that. So, I also wanted to mention, in regards to somebody commenting on a 6-year-old video, I've been sober for over 4 years now, right? So if you do delve back into the old videos, yes, most of them, I deleted all the videos that were not fish-related a long time ago. Many, many years ago, I took those all down, right? 8, 9, 10 years ago, I took those all down. Before I even uploaded my first of the worst. My first video is the worst fish video. My first video that's on there, it's still up there, that's fish related. It's not my first video I ever made, but it's the first one I ever made that was fish related, right? That one's still up there. It's the worst thing you've ever seen. It's terrible. Back then I used to just be involved in not bulletin boards, the forums. I was basically just one of those guys that was constantly on the forums, helping out people, answering questions and stuff like that. And a bunch of people kept asking me, man, you got to make videos. You got to make some videos of the stuff so that you could just show people like how many projects you have going. And then they would just know like, oh, okay. And it's the worst video you've ever seen. It's just terrible. It is awful. But it just gives you an idea of like what my crazy old apartment used to be like. My old lifestyle was way different than my lifestyle now. And I've talked about this on numerous occasions on here, and I do not mind talking about my sobriety. There's some things that I don't talk about because there's no benefit. There's no benefit to talk about it. Some of the things don't make sense to talk about, but people have asked me like, what did I have issues with? Why is it a big deal that I was sober? And I'll put it to you this way, and I've had a lot of conversations in person with a lot of things. Billy Fish's got to go. Hey, sorry, maybe it's not for you. Maybe this channel's not for you. It's all good. I don't like to watch people streaming playing video games. So, you could maybe go watch somebody stream video games or something. I don't know. And maybe I'm sounding like a jerk. Sorry, it's just that's the way today is. It's the 30th of May, and we'll just have the 30th of May me be ranting like a maniac. But good luck with all your stuff. Yes, it's all good, man. Go do whatever you got to do. But I spent many years of my life having issues and stuff like that. And so those old videos, I left those up there as an example of like how crappy my lifestyle was, how much things have changed in just the last 4 years. And I think the oldest video I have on there is like 8 years or something like that. And so to not say that the value of those being on there is important to me in the fact that I can point back to people and go like, yes, this is how chaotic and terrible things were for me. Because some people would go like, well, I don't think it was all that bad. You could easily go back and look at those videos and just see how chaotic and crazy things were. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of chaos or whatever, but I think honestly, I think one of the things that I wanted to kind of point out to people is that, if you're feeling the way that I feel right now, it's not that weird. I feel depressed. I feel like angry. I feel sad. I feel kind of like disappointed at where I'm at and stuff like that. Those are all feelings that I have. I know that those feelings are only important to just the process of the emotions that I have for being a human, right? But other than that, there's a pragmatic side of me that can write down my bills and things and what I should do, right? What I should do moving forward. Right? Alyssa Bentley says, I saw a couple of those old videos. Somehow it makes you look short. You know what's weird? I have met a bunch of people in person that are like, wow, man, you're like way taller than I thought you were going to be. I don't know what that is. Excuse me. I'm still sick. Corey and I are still sick. We basically went to Germany. I realized there was three things I got from going to Germany, 4 things I got from going to Germany. One of them was a better friendship and with Corey, which is awesome, and a cool experience with Corey, which is awesome. We had Germany it reminded me how far away I am from any kind of goal. And this crazy sickness. Whatever the unidentified virus is that we got is just brutal. Like physically, it feels like it's all gone, except I'm still like, so, I don't know. It'll probably go away over time, but that was one of the things we came back with, was an appreciation for not being sick from before. That was very true. So, but let me catch up with some of these. Oh gosh, there's a whole bunch of them. Daniel Keeping Fish with £5 super chat says, stress means you've got something worth fighting for. Keep going, Joel. Yes, I will keep on keeping on. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. A big part of the things that I work on a daily basis, I got to keep picking up heavy stuff. I got to get rocking and rolling and going. So, I got to pretty much just double down on what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So, it's just, I got to just keep doubling down on what I'm doing. Frank Dominguez says, bring the Mohawk back. I might. Although I think Vicky is not a fan. I think, honestly, Vicky is not a fan of me having a Mohawk. But I think I might just go a little more extreme with my haircut, I think. and maybe just, she's probably watching this, you guys, but I'll probably just like kind of work my way kind of to just a more wackier haircut, maybe, I think. I don't know. I'm going to see what, I have a better barber that I like to go to, but it's more expensive, so I might end up going to that barber and see what happens, right? By the way, if you guys have not tried this Bolt House Farms Berry Boost juice, it's freaking delicious. I have no idea if it's good for you or not. It's like supposed to be good for you. I don't know any of the backstory on the country or the company or anything like that. But I will say it's freaking delicious. You should get it. I really don't know if it's good for you or not, though. It's got a lot of fruit in it, you know? Which is supposed to be good for you. It's got blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. What was that? Hey, is that you, dogs? I don't know what that was. Oh my gosh, she's in the chat. She's here. Victoria, she heard my plan. No, I just think I might I just might change my haircut up just a little bit. Nothing out of control, but I might just change it just a little bit. We've got a 99-pound super chat from George Farmer himself. Well, thank you, George. I appreciate it. If you're still around, I don't know if you're still around or not. I probably didn't get to it fast enough. But if you're still hanging around, thank you very much, my man. I appreciate it. Probably go get some ice cream with that. Oh my gosh, Sunia with a $20 super chat saying, hang in there, Joel. You'll get through it. Thanks, Sunia. I always wonder if I say you're saying your name wrong because I wonder if it's Sunia or Sunia. I don't know. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Probably saying it wrong. I need like a pronunciation that shows me how to speak it with my mouth out loud, right? Uh-oh. Vicky's spider senses were tingling. Excuse me. Like I said, the sickness is hanging on forever. Michael Faulkner with a $5 super chat. I still love, he is my favorite, one of my favorite avatars. Not my favorite. I don't want to say anybody has my favorite, but it's one of my favorite. Says, keep your chin up, sir. No doubt you'll be a great father and provider no matter what way the road leads. Well, thank you very much. I think I'll do all right. But I also think, I think it's really one of those things that, like, I do have to make the real pragmatic decisions. I do have to make the pragmatic decisions. You know what I mean? If I am going to be a good father or not. You know what I mean? So, Lotan says I have clinical depression and it bums. And it bums when life hits you hard, but you're awesome. Take those lemons life gave you and make some lemonade. Don't let life squirt lemon juice in your eyes. That's a good point. Yeah, I know. It's just a fact of life that, I don't know. Maybe I approached it wrong, but I like to speak from the heart. And that's just how, it's realistically how I'm feeling. We just spent a lot of time kind of cruising around this last weekend, and which leads to a lot of time to be able to kind of think about what's really going on and like what I got to do. I really just like, there's a lot of stuff to think about right now, like what necessarily I'm doing or not, and is the year mark. This has been the 1 year mark. We did basically started out doing I started doing the live streams, if anybody recalls. I started doing the live streams last year every day. We did them every day for 90 days and whether or not it was going to be worthwhile to do it. And we made a decision like, okay, Vicky and I made the decision together to realistically go like, okay, is this something that we really want to do? It's been a year now, and I think that's what a lot of where my emotions come from and stuff like that is that it has been a year, and it's kind of like, well, what could I have done in a year? What have I built in a year? What is happening? What is happening at this point after a year? And I have a ton of gratitude for everything that's going on in my life. Vicky and I have a beautiful house. We have a beautiful life together. We have a very healthy relationship. Most everything is pretty fantastic. Obviously, we're not perfect or anything like that, and we have things to work on and keep improving over the next, 40 years, and then I'm going to die. But we have a great, like I said, did I say we have a great house? We have a great house. I have a great relationship, everything that's going on. But I also don't want to feel like the person that is not contributing as much, right? I don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling as a guy or just as a person. I mean, I don't know if it's because I'm male I feel that way, or just as a person I feel that way. I try my best to contribute, monetarily and do all those things as much as I can, but I pretty regularly feel like I'm not contributing as much, and that doesn't feel good. And from one of the conversations that Vicky and I had is that how would I feel if I was helping her out, right? Like, I would feel good about it, and she feels good about it, right? About helping out. She feels good about it, and I would feel good about it going the other way. It just, as the kind of person that I am, of just being a person that's been through whatever I've been through in my life, no excuses, it's just formed who I am. That's how I feel if I'm not coming through that way. So, and being somebody, I'm not stupid. I'm not a stupid guy. I'm pretty smart. That I do have to kind of write these things down and figure out whatever pragmatic path I'm going to be going down, right? And try to make a good decision as which way, as to which fork in the road I'm going to take, or which direction I'm going to put effort into. So, which is going to be the best thing, especially for my family. You know what I mean? For my family and moving forward. Michelle Angel is here, and you are 9, apparently. You're 9 years old. This might not be the right spot for you to be at if you're 9. I don't know. A little bit weird if you're 9. This might be not the right spot for you. I'm not saying you got to go or anything like that. I'm just saying this might not be something that is entertaining to you. So anyhow, like I was saying, I do have some pragmatic decisions to make at this point about what is going on for my family. Like I said, I'm also wildly grateful for what's going on. James Neesham says, can't put into words how much your streams make a difference in my life. I can't put into words how grateful I am to get messages like that. So you're very welcome. I'm very thankful. So thank you, James. I appreciate it. I realistically, like I said, I would I realistically, somebody was asking in the chat earlier, what's my goal? My goal would be able to, have a project that could stand on its own legs, right? A project, and by that, I mean a project that could stand on its own legs would mean that doing something that can actually fund itself to become a better project, right? I mean, I can always make goofy stuff on the weekends or something like that. But I really do have to kind of make an evaluation and I really need to make an evaluation as to exactly what it is that I'm trying to do and how I'm going to move forward in getting there. If there's no diagram to do that, right? Vicky and I have talked about it on numerous occasions that like there is no roadmap of like how to be successful in like creating stuff. There just isn't one. There's a bunch of advice from people, and more often than not, that advice comes in the form of like, yeah, just keep doing good work. If you work hard, you'll succeed. Yeah, like if you put a lot of effort in, you'll get like a lot of return. And, most of that stuff is like straight up just kind of pandering. You know what I mean? It's just, most of those people are answering a question without answering it. You know what I mean? There just isn't that many people that are like, there just isn't that many people actually explaining the steps of like how to do something. You know what I mean? There are people out there that do it a little bit. And let's be honest, more often than not, most of the motivational speaker type people, like they should be giving advice on how to become a motivational speaker. More than anything else. But at some point in time, I figured, there would be some kind of, I guess it's kind of impossible to explain into words, but I think it would be more like, is there a carrot? There's like a carrot dangling somewhere. You know what I mean? Like there is, you get to the end of the race and somebody stops the thing and they give you a time. And they're like, well, that's the best time that anyone has ever had. It's a world record, right? That's something. That's a goal. That's a thing. That's a carrot. That's a something at the very end. And honestly, like from my feeling is that there is no carrot. There is no end. There's no end of the race, and it's just going to keep going forever. So it is that actually is a better thing that I should probably be shooting for is a project that can actually fund itself and keep going. And I don't think that I've done that. I don't think I've done that at this point. And so at this point, I need to evaluate like what it is that I'm doing and what I can do to keep going forward. Because Barbara Jackson says, offer a product or service that rich people want and will pay a lot for. But easier said than done, but not impossible. It's a good point. Which is why I light all my paintings on fire, because then there's only one left, and then there's the demand, right? Then the demand goes up, right? Or wait. No, supply. Demand is higher than the supply, right? So the price goes up. Yeah. Economics, brothers.
Economics. We're going to think about the economics of the whole situation.
But, I'm realistically at the point where I need to figure out if this project can, like, stand on its own wobbly legs or not. And, if I sit down and do the math doesn't look good, right? Because oftentimes the math can give you a decision on whatever you're doing, whether it's right or wrong, right? So, I don't know. This thing's giving me an alert. Why is you alerting me? What did I do? Stop alerting me. But one of the things that I learned from going to Germany, Interzoo, went to Interzoo, and the Patreon was the one thing that I could actually show. I could actually show like the bigwig type guys that there's something that there is some kind of value there or whatever. And the last thing I want to do is keep talking about the Patreon. Like I wish I could actually like just print out all of the the comments and complaints and things and like other people's shows and stuff that I've been on where people are complaining about me talking about my Patreon and stuff, right? I wish I could print all that out and show it to you guys, but that's not me. I'm not pointing the finger at anybody. But the last thing I want to do is like point the finger at a bunch of people, but I wish I could print all that out and show it to you. Like, and the last thing I want to do is actually talk about the Patreon all the time and stuff like that. But it is the one thing that I did find out about when I was overseas, and it was the one thing that I could actively show a company like what kind of value. And here's the weird thing. It's like it realistically, it doesn't even necessarily portray the value of me. It actually portrayed the value of you guys as an audience, which is bizarre. Because I think there were a lot of companies that I talked to that were like, yeah, you know, like aquariums are like a niche, you know, there's like people like, they like don't have a lot of money. They're just kind of like, oh, whatever. They're just all like cheap and blah, 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 and this and that. Of which I was kind of like, well, I don't know if that seems to be very accurate, because a lot of times I'm just talking on the internet, and like that's enough of a value for these 200 and, well, now it's down to 290 people value it enough to be at this dollar amount. And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, I think you've definitely underestimated where to put your money. You know, we were definitely in a lot of booths and stuff that were like $500,000 to be at Interzoo so that they could talk to other people in the industry, right? They get advertised to other people in the industry. Seems odd, you know. So, you know, I think that was one of those big things that like showed that was eye-opening to a lot of people. And so I don't even know why I was talking about it. I lost my train of thought. I've been ranting too much. I'm losing it. But Jay's Crazy Obsession says, yeah, so true. I'd know. I'm a line cook at a country club. I've also been a line cook at a country club. I've spent a lot of time in the kitchen and stuff. And, you know, a lot of people wonder why I'm not a chef anymore. I walked away from that career. I could be a chef tomorrow. I could walk in and run a restaurant again. But I decided to go from $10 an hour as a chef down to $5 an hour as a YouTube guy, right? With all my construction stuff in between, which was a lot more than both combined. So I don't know. It just makes no sense. It just makes no sense, and it just is what it is. Jeff Rose says everyone should share this stream for Joel. I don't want any pity shares or any of that kind of stuff, man. If people were going to share my stuff, they would have shared it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a year in. There's so many analytics like lined up. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, it just is what it is. If I sit here and like have a rant and talk to you guys, it's because I have an ongoing relationship with you guys, and I want to talk to you guys about what's going on, right? I don't necessarily want to drag new people in. People have come into the chat and they're like, what is going on here? And it's like, well, because you probably never even been here before. You know, you've probably never even been on the stream before or anything like that. And, you know, one of the reasons I am willing to have these conversations with you guys is because I have an ongoing relationship with you guys that I feel like there's no reason for me not to tell you guys like what's up. And I also don't want to blindside you guys with something if 2 weeks down the road I'm like, well, hey guys, I got a job and I got to go do this job now, right? Like, I don't want you guys to be like, well, I didn't even hear anything about this. This sucks. And today is the day before this month for the Patreon for next month, right? And I want everyone to have an opportunity to turn off your Patreon if you want, right? If you want to turn it off before the June 1st charge, I'm going to give you the opportunity to turn it off and a big, big reminder to turn it off, right? If you do not want to be on the Patreon, if you do not want to be getting charged for it in a day and a half, you could turn it off. And here I am giving you a reminder that you can turn it off, okay? And that is, I'm really not gonna hold it against anybody. If you want to turn it off, it's all good. It's all good. It's not a complaint from me to you guys or anything like that. I wanted to talk about this, and I thought about it, and I was like, maybe I want to talk about my emotional feelings and all my stuff on Friday, right? But Friday is the 1st, and a bunch of people would have been charged, right? A bunch of people would have been charged on Friday, right? And maybe they would have been like, dude, what's going on? Why are you like flipping out? It's the 1st, like we just got charged yesterday, but I would rather have this like flip out, this vent, whatever you want to call this, me ranting about what's going on. I would like to give people the opportunity ahead of time and just be like, hey, if you need to turn off your Patreon, you can turn it off and just, we's all good. Like ain't nobody tripping or nothing like that. Realistically, I'll leave the goals. The goals on there are still up. I'm not changing any of that kind of stuff. I just want you guys to know like what's up and what's happening. And I'm realistically gonna keep going with what I can. But I do want to let people know that like, yes, I am working out the stuff on paper, and I am trying to figure out like what I can and can't do, you know. So it's really just like kind of the reality of the situation. Let's see. Hold on a second. Daniel Keeping Fish says, I work with learning disabilities. No money in it. I scrape by, but do what means something to me and other people. So do you. The wife is proud. Kids are proud. Worth more than making the big bucks. Yeah. Hey, man, I fully agree with that, and that is awesome. But I do have to make the pragmatic decision that I am going backwards, that I can't operate at a deficit. I just can't. You know, I would love to like have nothing to do with money ever, never, and have never have anything to do with money. But I do have to realize that like this is the world I live in, and I have to be a bit of a realist, you know. And I'm certainly not going to move away. I'm certainly not abandoning my responsibilities or any of that kind of stuff. But I may have to change what I'm doing in order to follow through with my responsibilities, right? And that's just like, it's 2018. I live in the United States. I'm not leaving anything here. And the unfortunate thing is that if that time gets taken up because I got to go make money, then that's just how it's got to be. And the thing that the thing that gets cut is unfortunately my, you know, it's like my relationship with you guys and stuff like that. So, as Darko Leskovchek is saying, so it's like a culling stream. It probably is kind of like a culling stream. Yes, I would imagine we're trying to go for high quality versus the low quantity, or the high quality versus high quantity. We want, right? But I also don't want people to feel like they didn't get value for whatever they got going on. I do hate money. I hate living in a society that's required that requires money to do everything. And the main reason for that is that I want to be doing stuff all the time. I want to be constantly like working on projects and stuff, but I can't afford lumber to start building the pond. I can start digging a hole, but there's nothing I could put in the hole, and it's just going to rain a lot and screw up the hole. So it's just one of those things that like, yeah, I do dislike that the situation. I do dislike certain. Oh, okay, I don't. All right. Let me rephrase that because I walked into it way too fast. There are aspects that I dislike about our current society's situation, that everything that we do is almost everything that we do is required to have money for. Even just going to the national parks in the United States to go hike around and stuff, you need to have a Discover Pass. You need to have tabs on your car if you're going to park it out there. You got to have it properly licensed. You got to blah, blah, blah. There's just a whole bunch of stuff. It just ain't, even the free stuff isn't free. You know what I mean? So it's just a little bit, crazy, but it's just part of like having to address the reality of the world that we live in. And I get a little bit cranky sometimes because, dealing with stuff like this insurance company, like someone crashed into my car, which is not my fault, right? I was parked, I stopped in traffic appropriately. Someone crashed into me. They drove off in the middle of the night, and then they got in trouble for it, right? And then now I have to argue with the insurance company for weeks on end, months on end, and it's just to replace the thing that got broken by somebody else, right? Because the insurance company wants to be the arbiter between these people having money and those people not having money, and they want to make money by doing the money thing, right? So, to me, that kind of stuff is crazy stressful. It's ridiculous, and I don't like that. And I think it's ridiculous. So, yeah, but it's a mess. Susan for SLC Aquatics, who has always been so kind with her prayers and everything. Thank you for the super chat. Says, Joel, we are here for you. Take a step back and do what is best for you and the family. You will do awesome, with the heart emoji. Well, thank you, Susan. SLC Aquatics, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I really do. This is, as I said earlier, this is a full disclosure stream. I don't mind. I'd let everybody know what's going on ahead of time. If you want to drop your Patreon or any of that kind of stuff ahead of time, get it done, get it out of your system now. It's a good time to do it, because the summer months are coming up. Maybe you need to save your $5 for something else, or maybe there's another. There may be even something better than like a better creator out there that you want to help out. That would be great. Jeff Rose is asking, are you taking time away from us? Currently, no, I'm not. But I do have to make some decisions here pretty soon. And I could have pushed it off to next week, right? But I wanted to broach today now before the Patreon charges go through, because the Patreon charges get charged on the 1st of the month at like midnight, right? And I could have talked about this like next week, but I'd rather talk about it now. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's real talk. Let's know what's going on ahead of time before we before like next week, when people will go like, if something like, say if I do pick up a gig next week and I have to, like, we can only do one live stream and I don't have time to do edited videos and stuff. Some people could be like very upset by it that they got charged. But I want to let people know ahead of time. I want to let people know today instead of like next week after the fact that people would have gotten charged and stuff. Vicky's hanging out. She's going to be coming in. All right. So Vicky's home early. I want to hear about our baby checkup and stuff. So I want to address the rest of the super chats here. One from Rebecca says, you give us so much of your time and knowledge. I don't think anyone minds not having a video segment, etc. Where can we find / buy any of your available art? Hopefully the Fish Fam steps up to help. Oh, hey, we don't necessarily need the Fish Fam to help. My art is all like commission based and stuff like that. So I don't have anything necessarily posted up other than some stickers and t-shirts and things like that. So I have stickers, t-shirts, that kind of stuff up on the Teespring that you could get. At some point in time, I will be having some other stuff up on the Teespring that will probably be more like poster and stuff like that, but I do have to take some higher res pictures, because the pictures that I have of them, I have to take higher res. Then I have to edit them on a different computer because I can't edit 4K on the monitors that I have here. I have a computer, but I don't have a monitor, so it won't allow me to display the 4K to edit it. So I need to edit the 4K, which at this point in time, I haven't run that by anybody that I need to go by and do that with. But I might implore a graphic designer friend of mine to help out with the 4K images, edit them down, and so that they'll be ready to do like posters up on the Teespring. But for right now, it's stickers and T-shirts and stuff that are up there. That's a place that you can get them. Or if you're interested in either commissioning art or possibly buying something that's laying around the house, you can always email me, joel@darkstararts.com. That is my email. You can always email it any time of day, and I will do my best to get back to you as fast as I can. It may not be immediately. It may not be the same day, but it will be fairly soon. Let's see here. So hopefully that answers your question, Rebecca. I feel like I did. Yes, I feel like I answered your question. LG3 Nation with another super chat saying, "Smart people figure out problems, so I know you will do fine." Well, I might not do fine because I'm not that smart, right? Let's see. Who was asking? Donald's Fish Vibe, was it? Yeah, Donald's Fish Vibe is saying, "Where does one find a car for $750?" I could probably find a car locally for $750. I don't know if it'll drive. But I did see one that was $750. It said it went forward, but it didn't go backwards. So if reverse is not a big deal, maybe you have one of those loop-de-loop driveways. Let's see. Gillis says, Vicky hung out in the driveway far too long. Yes. Vexing Cat says, if you're looking for a job cooking in a bar or a new construction plumbing business, I have a family looking for people in your area. I'm a little bit confused. So is there somebody looking for workers in the area? I don't know. Shoot me an email if you all have anything that, for me to get at. Corpse a lot with a $2 super chat for the tip jar. Well, thank you very much. M. Howie, Mr. Mike, I got your message the other day that your van is a 2018, right? Was it 2018? I think the dad van, the rental that I have, I think it's a 2018. I think it is. I'm not sure. I'd have to check. I think it's the same. It's just black. The interior is all black, so it's kind of confusing. I don't think yours was. I think yours was like the kind of tan gray, right? I'm not sure. But M. Howie9 with a $10 super chat saying, hey, man, keep your head up. You've been the inspiration to get me to set up the fish barn, which, by the way, the fish barn is awesome. If you guys haven't checked out on the Patreon, the fish barn that Mike Howie's putting together, you really should check that out. You really should take a minute to check that out and see what's up. Cool. We got the Patreon people deleting the ones that don't want it. Cool. Sounds good to me. Jeffro's Fish Keeping with a $9 super chat saying, I'm 9 lol. LOL. Ha 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 ha. Laugh out loud. Right? Well, I like the $9 super chat saying you're 9. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I love your beard power. It's so strong. John Gonzalez with the $1.99 super chat saying, you got to keep on keeping on, Joe Dirt style. Keep on keeping on. That is a 12-step recovery saying that Joe Dirt stole because he's a thief. He's a criminal element. Tari with a $10 super chat for the tip jar. I hear Victoria clamoring around in the background. Johnny Zelaya with a $5 Super Chat says, take care of your family first, Joel. I'm sure the fish fam will always be here for you when you check in. Yeah, I think I just want everybody to know what's going on, man. I don't want people to go like, dude, like, I don't understand what happened, bro. And I'll be like, well, I don't know. Maybe I should have made an episode about it. Maybe I should have made an episode about what was going on. So instead of doing that, I decided that I would go ahead and make an episode so that the people that want to drop off can drop off, and the people that want to be on can be on, and it could have a slight warning about what could or couldn't be going on, right? That, if it is 3 months or 3 weeks down the road or something, and it's like, I can only do one live stream a week, or something. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but if something was like that was going to happen, I could at least go, well, I could reference the discussion. We could actively know what's going on. And then everybody would know what was happening. Everybody would know what's going on. And, maybe we never do hit like 1 million subscribers or whatever, any of that kind of stuff. But if it's 290 subscribers, I would like you guys all to really know what's happening and what's going on. Oh, hey, sweetie. Hey, babe. This is my babe. She's here. Hey, sweetie. Hey, babe. I love you. But I wanted everybody to really know what was going on, what's happening, what's rattling around in my head, and then everybody would know. Everybody would know what's up, and it wouldn't be that too far off. But I think that because Vicky is here early, and I'm kind of wound down, and I want to say thank you to everybody. I'm give an extra thank you to Zombie Drummer, Vexing Cat, LG3 Nation, Barbara Jackson, Daniel Keeping Fish, George Farmer, Sunia. Hopefully I'm saying it right. I don't know if I'm saying it right or not. Michael Faulkner, James Neesham, Susan for SLC Aquatics, Rebecca, LG3 Nation, Corpse a Lot, M. Howie9, Jeff Rose Fishkeeping, John Gonzalez, Tari, Johnny Zelaya, and Sunia with a super chat here saying, my name is pronounced Sunia. Okay, so hopefully I'm getting it close. Sunia. I think I'm close. Sunia. Yeah, I'm kind of close. Close-ish. Either way, hopefully if we ever make it out to Minnesota, then you'll be able to yell it at me a bunch of times, and I'll be like, well, I'm just dumb, and hopefully I get it right at some point in time. But all right, well, here we go. I'm getting, what is this thing? Getting notifications over here. Things freaking out. Things are freaking out. But I want to thank everybody for coming out today. Thank you for staying for the show. Thank you for bearing with me and not punching me in the face. And just as another quick reminder, hopefully we get the people that want to delete it deleted. The people that want to be on board and see what we can do on board, and we'll just keep moving ever forward. I want to say thanks to all your lovely faces, all your lovely avatars and all that stuff. I'm very gracious in your guys' presence. Or what's the word? I'm not gracious. What's the word I'm looking for? My gratitude is deep for you guys. And hopefully you all have a fantastic Wednesday. We shall see what I can do for the rest of the week. No matter what, we should be here for the Friday show. Hopefully I'll get you guys some good, helpful, videos or something like that. I don't know. See what I can do for the rest of the week. And hopefully everybody has a fantastic night out there. Wherever CJ Black is, quit hiding the button. And I'll talk to you all later. What was that?